Okay. The least common denominator. It is used when we have to combine rational expressions. So if we have the least common denominator, then we can simply combine the numerators. So I'm going to start with a simple case. With numbers. Let's say I have 1/6 and 1/4. We want to find something in common. Now, what is the least common denominator that I can find?
2.
2.
Or 1.
1 is a factor of every single number. Let's say we want to add these two. I need a common denominator. 12. So 6 times 2 is 12. 4 times 3 is also 12. Yes. So I can change that to a 12, that to a 12, so that I get a common denominator. You might say, well, why not 24? You can multiply that by 4, that by 6. And you can try to convert this to 24, but that's just extra. We call it the least common denominator because 12 is smaller than 24. Could you find other common denominators? I can keep on going. 48 would be a common denominator because 6 times 8 is 48. 4 times 12 is 48. So I can keep on coming up with common denominators, but the objective is to pick the least common denominator. Good. So I'm going to multiply and divide 1/6 by 2. Likewise, I'm going to multiply and divide 1/4 by 3. I didn't do anything wrong, algebraically speaking. So 2/12 plus 3/12. Do I have a common denominator now? Yes. If we have a common denominator, we can simply put 12 and add the numerators. 2 plus 3 is 5, so the answer is 5 divided by 12. So the common denominator between 5 and 40 is 40. Of course, you can have 80 as a common denominator, 120 as a common denominator, but those are all bigger than the smallest one, which is 40. So I'm going to multiply and divide 1/5 by 8. I will keep 1/40 as is. So 8 times 5, 40. 8 times 1, 8. Plus 1/40. Do we have a common denominator?
Yeah.
Yes. So we simply add the numerators. 8 plus 1, I get 9/40. Good. Are we comfortable with the numbers? Let's throw in some variables. And I'm going to start simple. So the way we do it is I look at the two denominators and I want to make sure that I'm not missing any. In the sense, I have a 3 there is no 3 there. So what I need is a 3. Yes, I need a 3 in common because there is a 3, there is no 3. There is x, there is x squared. So what am I missing? I'm missing x squared, correct? Because there is an x squared here, there is just an x. So the second term that I need would be 3x squared. So we want to change the first denominator to 3x squared, the second denominator to 3x squared. If I multiply and divide 1 over 3x by x, I will get 3x squared. Yes. In a similar manner, what should I multiply and divide 1 over x squared by so that I get 3x squared? 3. Now we can multiply the numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. X times 1 is x. 3x times x, 3x squared. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times x squared, 3x squared. Do we have a common denominator? 3x squared. Simply combine the numerators. And that is the final answer. Any questions on that?
Would the final answer not be 3x over 3x squared?
No. This is plus, not times.
Okay.
X plus 3. So first step, we want to combine these two. We've got to find the least common denominator. We want to make those two terms identical. There is an x, there is no x, so we need an x. There is an x and there is y squared. We need y squared because y squared is the bigger of the two. Now I can multiply and divide the first expression by y. What should I multiply and divide the second one by?
X.
X. So we would have y divided by y times xy, xy squared, minus 1 times x, x, divided by x times y squared, xy squared. Do I have a common denominator? Yes. So I can simply combine the numerators. Good. So you look at that and you may say, oh, I see nothing in common. So what do? Is there something that we can do to x squared minus 7x plus 10 so that it becomes helpful in some way? Factor, which is why we did factoring a lot. So x squared minus 7x plus 10, I can factor. And what are the factors?
X minus 5 and x minus 2.
X minus 5 and x minus 2. So I have x minus 5 in both terms. So I'll just keep it as is. What am I missing in the denominators? X minus 2. So I need x minus 2. So The first term, 6 over x minus 5 times x minus 2. The second term, I need an x minus 2 in the denominator. So I multiply and divide by x minus 2. Do we have a common denominator? Yes. If we have a common denominator, what do? Simply combine the numerators. So 6 plus 3 times x minus 2. Don't just leave it as is. Try to simplify further. So I will have 6 plus 3x minus 6 divided by x minus 5 times x minus 2. What would happen to the 6 and negative 6? And we will simply end up having 3x divided by x minus 5 times x minus 2. Good. So factor each term first. What are the factors for x squared minus 7x plus 12? X minus 4 times x minus 3. Before we do anything, can we factor this? We have x squared minus 4x. I have x in common. If I pull that out, I would have x minus 4. Good. Now, write the LCD. I have x minus 4 in common. Let me keep it as is. What am I missing? There is an x minus 3 here. There isn't one there. So I need x minus 3. There is x here. There is no x there. So I need x. So that is the LCD. So what should I do to the first expression so that I get x times x minus 4 times x minus 3 in the denominator? I have to multiply and divide by x. If I did that, I get x times x minus 4 times x minus 3, which is the LCD. The second term (5) divided by x times x minus 4. What am I missing in the LCD? X minus 3. So multiply and divide by x minus 3. Do I have a common denominator? No. Yes. So the common denominator is x times x minus 4 times x minus 3. The numerator is 3 times x plus 5 times x minus 3. Try and simplify. So 3x plus 5x minus 15 divided by x times x minus 4 times x minus 3. 3x plus 5x is 8x. So we will have 8x minus 15 divided by x times x minus 4 times x minus 3. Good. So the first step would be to factor I can write the denominator as y squared minus 1 squared. Difference of squares. Here, if you factor, you will get y minus 1 times y minus 1. Good. What is y squared minus 1 squared? It is the difference of squares formula. What is a squared minus b squared equal to?
C squared.
B squared.
No, it's a C squared.
Isn't it a
It's
minus
not
b?
Pythagorean theorem.
Isn't it a minus b multiplied by a minus
A
b?
minus b times a plus b. Even if it is the Pythagorean theorem, it is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So y plus 1 times y minus 1 plus 6 divided by y minus 1 times y minus 1. Good. Now, there are a couple of ways to do this problem. I can pull a common term out and then do the problem, but I don't want to complicate things, so I'm just going to go with the usual approach. In other words, I can pull this y minus 1 outside and do algebra that way, but don't want to complicate things. So, but I am going to rewrite this denominator as y minus 1 squared, so that it's even on the other side. So here, that term has y minus 1 squared. This term simply has y minus 1. So what do we need here?
Who we need y plus 1.
That is correct, but between these two, I have y minus 1 squared and y minus 1. What do I need? Y plus between these two terms, this term,
Oh, another one.
another y minus 1. So what I need is y minus 1 squared. Now, there is a y plus 1 there. There isn't one here. So y plus 1. How do we get the common denominator of y minus 1 squared times y plus 1? So I multiply or I should multiply and divide the first term by what factor? Y minus 1 or y plus 1? Y minus 1. I have to multiply and divide the second factor by y plus 1. Do I have a common denominator now? So if I multiply the numerator with the numerator, minus 5y times y minus 1 divided by y plus 1, y minus 1 times y minus 1, y minus 1 squared. Numerator, if you multiply it, have 6 times y plus 1 divided by, simply multiply these two, y plus 1 times y minus 1 squared. Do I have a common denominator? Do they look the same? Yes.
Yes.
So I have a common denominator, so I can combine the numerators. So negative 5y multiplied by y minus 1 plus 6 times y plus 1. Distribute and simplify. Negative 5y times y, negative 5y squared. Negative 5y times negative 1, positive 5y. 6 times y, 6y. 6 times 1, 6. So negative 5y squared, 6y plus 5y is 11y plus 6 divided by y plus 1 times y minus 1 squared. Good. We can't factor this further. Right? 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Got to come up with two numbers so that when you multiply, you get negative 30. When you add, you get positive 11. That's not going to happen. Let me ask you, what would you? This is a rational expression, that's a number. Over 1. So this would be 4 divided by 1. Now, what is the common factor between 2x minus 5 and 1? Or common denominator, I mean, not common factor. I have 2x minus 5 here, just 1 there. So I need 2x minus 5. How do I get 2x minus 5? I multiply and divide by 2x minus 5. So 4 times 2x minus 5 divided by 2x minus 5. Do we have a common denominator now? Yes. And that common denominator is 2x minus 5. So combine the numerators. 6x plus 4 times 2x minus 5. So 6x plus 8x minus 20 divided by 2x minus 5. The numerator, 8x plus 6x, 14x minus 20 over 2x minus 5. Monica, do we have a common,
Yes.
what is that common term?
Wait, what?
The common factor in the numerator.
So you could just divide it by 2x minus 5.
How?
14x minus 2. Negative 20. No, not minus. Divided by 2. And then negative 20 divided by 5.
This by 2 and that by 2?
No,
This by that and that by that?
yeah.
No, we can't do that.
Then I don't know.
The only thing that you can do is get a common factor up. What is common between those two terms? A 2. So you'll have 7x minus 10 divided by 2x minus 5,
Oh, there is some choice.
right?
Yeah.
Namsha, you were saying something?
How come we don't add the 6x and the 8x?
I did add those two. I got
Oh,
14. Yeah. So we simply have to do 3 divided by 1. There is an 8a plus 1 here. There is no 8a plus 1 there. So the common denominator has to be 8a plus 1. We multiply and divide the second expression by 8a plus 1. So I will get 14 over 8a plus 1 plus 3 times 8a plus 1 over 8a plus 1. Do we have a common denominator? Yes. We simply combine the numerators, so we have 14 plus 3 times 8a plus 1. So 14, distribute the 3 times 8a, 24a, 3 times 1, get 3, divided by 8a plus 1. 24a, 14 plus 3 is 17, divided by 8a plus 1. We can't simplify it any further because we have nothing in common. Good.